if you've been a drinker for a while, or you've got alcohol problems in general, major alcohol problems I've had, you become selfish, The drink takes over. That becomes your priority. All you want to do is drink. Find your next drink. Have a supply of drink. Get to the pub. Get some more drink. Eventually, if you get like me, it became an addiction. To the point where I nearly lost my life. Now, I think back and reflect on how my family must have felt. Because, thankfully, my dad saw me sober before he died. And he wasn't particularly well, but at least he saw me sober. Because he saw me go downhill for many years, and it must have been very upsetting for him. I'm a mother, and in the end, my daughter, because I would hate to see my daughter go downhill like I did. And as a parent, because my daughter's 30 now, as a parent, it doesn't matter how old your children are, they're still your children. And I just wonder how my parents must have felt, and I feel now regretful of that, but you can't do anything about it. You've got to move forward, and you've got to, keep positive. But think about the people that you're harming and you're hurting, because there's a lot of them, and a lot of friends you'll have, and people will think about you, people will worry about you, but your parents and your loved ones even more so. What's it like to have a child effectively drink themselves to death? No matter what age they are, whether they're 52, 62 or 22, it doesn't make any difference. And think of how proud they will be or would have been to see you sober. Because I've got a lot of messages from people who've got children, other relatives who have partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, who are severely ill with alcohol or have passed away. And you might think you're all right, but you're not all right drinking heavily, because other people see the faults, not the faults, but the problems that are caused, because there's not just the drinker that has issues. It's goes much further than that. Your work colleagues, you see your world collapse. A lot of people go from having a successful business or having a really good job, and then they're just suddenly addicted to this alcohol, and that becomes their life. So the child, the young adult, the young man, the young woman that your parents brought into the world, who's a bit older now, they're just wrecking their lives, you see. And you've got to think about these things. I've done it more recently, because when I was drinking, I was a selfish drinker. I didn't mean to be. I think it just sort of took over my life, from being a social drinker, and then you creep into it. But at the time, I was living quite a distance from my family, as in my parents, my sister and whatnot. And I loved it, drinking down there in London and having my own life. And when I used to come back, I used to try and hide that, but I think everyone knew, that I was drinking too much. And it's something that I would like to, get over to younger people as well, because you can't be a success if you're a heavy drinker. I remember my hometown in Northumberland, there was a few alcoholics used to sit in the market square, and I must have been about 15, 16. For some reason I was in the town centre with my parents, and they both said, because they knew I was drinking even then, they said, these people here, alcoholics, they're only in the 30s. They won't live long, and I didn't really notice it. So, well, I'm invincible. I'm only young, I'm just a teenager, really. But my friends used to drink 15, 16, 17 down the rugby club and things, it was a sort of accepted thing to do, and it still is. You've got kids drinking very young now. There's a different culture in the UK to the rest of Europe, to be honest, with alcohol. But yeah, they used to say, look at that, they're over there. That's what happens to alcoholics. And I never thought anything about it, because when you're young and you're branching out into life and breaking down into life, you don't realise how quickly something can take over your life and how quickly life passes. Because normal cycle of a lot of people, they get past school, maybe go to university or get a job or get a trade or go into a profession, whatever it is. Go in the armed services, go in the police like I did. There's all sorts of things you can do. And most of the things are related around drinking. A lot of people say, oh, police drink too much, or solicitors drink too much, or doctors drink too much. Most people drink too much. And it's one of the ways that people bond, isn't it? You go to a conference or a meeting or a weekend or something, or a couple of days in midweek, these salesmen and all that, they always have a drink at night, don't they? It's everybody, oh, we'll meet in the bar at 5 o'clock. It doesn't matter where you go, it's always the same culture. And it just becomes a part of life. It's a lot of people's lives. Today it's New Year's Eve. Now, it's a wet Tuesday, isn't it? But millions of people will be celebrating New Year's Eve with alcohol. I was in a supermarket yesterday with my girlfriend. There was a woman in front of me, and I just jokingly said, are you opening a bar? Her bill came to £648. She had 2 trolleys full of snacks. I'm talking about a few bags of crisps and nuts, and the rest was wine, beer and spirits. 600 and odd quid. All she said was, we're having a few friends round. What a waste of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money, that, 650. You go on holiday for that. So, because it's so socially acceptable, no one bats an eyelid. If somebody's in the shop buying 640 quid worth of cocaine, they'd get nicked, wouldn't they? It's just a mad way we look at alcohol, that it's not a drug. It was alcohol and drugs. Alcohol is a drug, and it will kill you. And as a parent now, and has been for the last few years, my daughter started to drink a little bit as well when she was a teenager, and it was hard to steer away from her. She smoked as well. You cannot tell people what to do when they're older, if you've got children who are adult age or over 18, but you can advise them. And this is all I'm doing here, trying to advise you, and you've got to advise your kids as well. Because if you're a problem drinker, you know the pitfalls. You've been through it. You've got the experience. And you know that you're going to feel groggy. You may have a few sick days at work. Things will start to go wrong in your life. And then you'll maybe have a few health issues, but you still drink. Because even though you want to stop, you think, oh, I'm a bit bored now. There's all these reasons why people drink. There's all these reasons why people relapse. And you've got to get it into your head, because it is in your mind. You can be physically addicted, but you can't get off it with medical help. You've got to think in your head, I better not relapse. I mean, I've been sober 5 years, had various times in hospital and whatnot, but even after all the things that's happened to me, I haven't had a transplant or anything, but just being in hospital, the ascites fluid, all the different issues, feeling unwell, and being in a wheelchair for months and years, and staying with my parents, and not being able to get out, not being able to drive, and have massive anxiety attacks, fits, seizures, and intensive care, being in resus, all this sort of thing. Even I think now, after hundreds of times of relapsing, I wonder if I could just control that one drink. But you can't. So if you fancy a drink, keep off it. Please keep off it. And think of others around you, even though you're right in the middle of addiction. Just for maybe today, New Year's Eve, it's a new year, isn't it? It's always a good time to reflect. Maybe I shouldn't have that drink because it's going to harm somebody else. Because you're not just harming yourself. Make your family proud of you, and make yourself proud of you and those around you, and your life will blossom again. You'll be amazed at what your body can do. Your body will fight for you if you give it a chance. It's not going to fight for you if you keep battering it all the time. Okay? In the meantime, have a good new year, and stay sober if you can. If not, tomorrow's another day. If you benefit from the channel, then please subscribe. Any comments, obviously drop me a line, and I'll speak to you all soon.